Hey, David Brewster here with a new episode of 3 for All. This is 3 Steve Vai licks from 2024. That's right, this year. And currently, Steve Vai, Adrian Belew, Danny Carey, and Tony Levin are on the Beat Tour. And I've had a lot of requests to feature some Vai and Belew from this tour, celebrating the music of King Crimson from the 80s. And, technically, I think they've been on tour since September and October. October, of course, Metal Month here on my channel, and I couldn't really deviate from metal to feature this. So this episode's long overdue. I definitely found some really tasteful licks from Vi. No offense to Adrian Belew. Adrian Belew's a badass, and I love Adrian. But this episode's going to basically focus on some Steve Vai licks. So here we go. So I find it really interesting that two former Frank Zappa alumni, Adrian Belew and Steve Vai, are currently working together and touring, playing music from King Crimson. And this is really interesting. As soon as it was announced, I was like, no way, Steve and Adrian together? And, definitely that legacy kind of connecting with Frank Zappa. Of course, Adrian Belew's worked with Bowie and, tons of people, Talking Heads and a whole bunch of people. But I love that Frank Zappa connection between these two. So I haven't been able to catch the Beat tour, unfortunately, but I have been watching lots of clips and videos and posts online, including clips and posts from Steve Vai and Adrian Belew. And it's really interesting to notice what Steve's wearing on stage. I mean, aside from what he's playing, he's kicking ass all over the place. But when I saw him with the black hat and the suit, kind of look or whatever, it totally took me back and reminded me of his late years with David Lee Roth and kind of moving into the Passion and Warfare era when he had that white fedora. The licks and ideas in this episode actually came from Steve's solo spot during this tour, and that takes place during the song The Sheltering Sky, which is from Discipline. And they basically perform the song, and at the end, Steve basically goes off in the solo. And it's really cool. And I literally saw dozens of versions of the solo, which was really interesting because I noticed each time Steve played the solo, different concerts, different cities, he played it a little bit differently each time. Like it started the same. He would start with this long, like sustained note, and then everything after that would variate ever so slightly. Some performances were amazing. Other performances were a little different where it was like, oh, I like the other one better. But it was really cool to see Steve Vai serve up this solo, and he's really just kind of improvising and jamming, which was so cool. Okay, the first lick's the signature pivot legato move from Steve Vai. He definitely plays licks like this a lot. And it actually starts being played over G major and then it ends on E minor. And it's something like this. One more time. So right there we're starting in G. And he's starting on this kind of, accented G note with vibrato and then that A to B note. And then right here is the pivot legato move. You're going to grab this D, B, A, G, A, B, and then do that basically 4 times in a row, like this. And after you do that 4 times in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4. On that 4th time, you're going to do that A, G, A, and then shift slide this A into that B, and then end on that E note up there, which is where it ends on E minor right there. So really slow. And then at tempo. Okay, next up's this really expressive melodic phrase that opens up with a sweep, and then he starts doing this bar manipulation, and he's also doing this kind of clever slurry shift slide into that A note. Something like this. One more time. So really, really cool here, and this is over E minor. And he's basically starting with this, it's basically like an E minor 9. And then he's ending on the 4th, that A note right there. And it's really fast, like just kind of a blurry sweep. And I'm doing all downstroke on the way up and then an upstroke on that A note like that. Like that. but it's really fast. So after the sweep, you hear him dip the bar on that A note, and then he goes back to that F sharp, and then he does this shift from that G sharp into that A note, and then back to that F sharp, and he grabs that high B and kind of wiggles the bar. And then he does that weird kind of shift slide twice from that G sharp into A. And then end on that B note right there. So really slow all the way through it. Like that. And definitely Vi excels at phrases like that. Really unusual phrasing, you know, kind of playing with the bar, smearing notes, those little shifts and slides and bends and stuff. Really cool stuff. Next up's this melodic arpeggio phrase, and it actually ends with a bent note and a tapped harmonic, which is so cool. Something like this. One more time. So cool. So it basically starts with this high A note. Kind of dips his bar, you know, down and back up, and then he comes down this partial, you know, D major arpeggio right there. So you're going to come down that D major arpeggio from that A note, shift back to this F sharp right there. Grab this D note right there with your middle finger, and then Steve hops over and grabs A to B, index and third, like that. From that B note, you're going to shift back to E. Then right there, shift up to that F sharp. You're going to bend the F sharp up a half step and back while also tapping a harmonic there at the 21st fret. Like that. And then after that bent tapped harmonic, you're going to end on that low B. Like that. Think Van Halen, kind of. It definitely reminds me of some of those kind of single string Van Halen licks. Definitely Steve Vai's done a lot of licks like that in his career too. Okay, here's a bonus lick from some of this footage I found, and it's this winding two-string descending legato run. And Steve's basically using, it's like B Aeolian, it's played over a B minor, and it's something like this. One more time. And I love these two-string runs like that. So he's basically shifting into this high E and then descends the scale and ends on that lower E, you know, an octave lower than where he started. So it's like two notes bookending this kind of quick legato run, because you've got this and then end on that E. Right? Right there is pick up that D note and do it again. But right there you're going to do this. And you're starting on that D and ending on that D an octave lower. And then you're going to do it again starting on the C sharp right there and end on that C sharp. Like that. And then start on B right there and descend and end on that B an octave lower. Right? So really slow. You know, something like that. And I love licks like that. Steve definitely does a lot of those kind of finger twisting legato runs. Really cool. Okay, here's a bonus lick, and this actually came directly from Steve Vai. He uploaded this, and it's this tapping kind of interlude that he added to Discipline. Something like this. Something like that. It's definitely a handful, and slowly you can actually kind of hear there's like a kind of a rhythmic, flow to it. But he's doing definitely a very interesting sequence. One more time, real slow. So you're going to start on that A flat and then descend like that. And right there, you're going to pick up and tap that D flat. Definitely a very tricky but really cool tapping lick. Alright, that's going to wrap this episode of 3 for All with this look at 3 Steve Vai licks from 2024, and definitely this footage that I've seen from the Beat Tour, Adrian doing his thing, Steve Vai doing his thing, not to mention Tony Levin and Danny Carey throwing down. Very inspiring. Definitely, we need more tours like this. We need more musicians like this. And it's so interesting not only to notice what Adrian Blue's doing, but then Steve Vai. Frank Zappa, Alcatraz, PIL, David Lee Roth, Whitesnake, solo artist. Now he's working with King Crimson. It's crazy, but so cool. And definitely kind of just restores Steve Vai's legacy and importance. There's only one Steve Vai. Just like there's only one Adrian Belew, one Tony Levin, and one Danny Carey. So anyway, leave some feedback and comments. Please subscribe to my lessons, and I'll be back before you know with more content and material. Thank you.